everyone, my name is Magical. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you like story time / vlog videos and tarot card readings and funny skits, because those are the things that I do on my channel. And I haven't really done funny skits yet, but I'm about to. And I should be filming and posting funny skits pretty soon on a weekly or semi, or what's the word, bi-monthly for every 2 weeks basis, or every 3 weeks basis. So yeah, please subscribe to me though, because I really need 1,000 subscribers to do YouTube full time, because YouTube is my passion, and I will be making videos even if I was making no money. I will keep making videos for like decades, even if I never make any money. But I would like to make some money, because I'm broke and I have no money to get a camera right now until I save up and for a few more weeks. And it would just be nice to be able to do what I love full time. So please subscribe to me and help a broke girl out. I'm so poor. I'm begging you now. So yeah. It's okay if you don't subscribe. I'll get over it. Anyway, this video is just a story time / vlog about, yet again, why I have no friends. Even though technically I do have friends that I could hang out with, but it's just, I don't really feel like I have any female friends that I can really hang out with. And like I said in my previous videos, my female friends that I made in college all moved back to their hometowns, which were in different cities for me, in the same state as me, or different states than me. So I don't really get to see them in person, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would be hanging out with them probably, even now. But, so that's the issue there. That's basically why I don't really have any female friends. And then also, the other reason why I don't really have any female friends is because I've always worked at jobs where I've been like either by myself or around people who were much younger than me, like kids, or people who were much older than me. Well, not much older than me, but people who were like older than me, and who were parents. So I didn't really have very much in common with them. Or I was just working at a job where I was pretty much by myself most of the time. Or there just weren't very many people. And then, I had one job where I was around people, but I only had things in common with like a few of those people. So, or I just didn't really want to be friends with. Then, part of it is I didn't really want to be friends with anyone except for like a few of those people. So that's kind of why I don't really have very many friends, basically. And, but see, the thing is, I realized that I didn't really elaborate on one thing in my last video about why I don't really have friends, and that is that I was saying in my last video that I feel like the people in my state that I live in, and I live in South Carolina right now, and I just feel like the people here in South Carolina are much more conventional, I think, and traditionally minded, if that makes sense, than like other states. It is still the Bible Belt, and we're not all like religious hicks here or anything. I'm not saying that. And if you actually think that, then you need to read a book, or Google some more, or actually come here and see for yourself that people are not like, I just can't stand when people, there's this YouTuber called Glitter Forever 17, I think that's her name, and she was saying people called her like some hick or something just because she had like an Alabama accent. They thought she was like dumb and like a hick. I can't believe people actually think stuff like that just because someone is from the South. And it's like, that's such a stereotype. Like, have you ever actually met people from the South? Don't actually say stuff like that until you actually meet a lot of us, at least, and then you can make an opinion. But I'm telling you, like, you can't say that one whole state is dumber or like dumb, like you're never going to meet everyone in that state. So just to even make a statement or an assumption like that is such a stereotype to me. So just open a book or Google some more or something. I don't want to sound mean. I'm not saying you're dumb if you think that Southern people who have Southern accents are dumb. I'm not calling you dumb. So don't be mad at me. I'm just saying that it's kind of an ignorant statement to make. It's an assumption that doesn't really make any sense, because how are you going to like meet enough people in an entire state or an entire region such as the South to really know what you're talking about? You know what I'm saying? To really make a generalization that could actually be considered trustworthy or even slightly accurate, even though you still can't really make a generalization like that ever. Even if you have met thousands and thousands of people in a single area or state, I still don't think you could ever make a generalization like that. But that's off topic. So, I digress. But I'm just saying, like, I just feel that what I meant by I feel like people in South Carolina are more conventional. I think that's the male shrug. No, that's the trash people that you hear right now. But what I meant by my last video, that I feel like people in South Carolina are maybe more conventional or traditional types, is because I feel like if I lived in a state like California or New York or somewhere with a bigger city, such as even Atlanta, or, you know, even Charlotte, somewhere that's a bigger city. Columbia, South Carolina is where I live right now, and it's a decent-sized city, but it's not actually a very big city. I want you guys to think about something for a second. Whenever there's like a big musician or whatever, a lot of times they literally skip right over South Carolina. They don't even, musicians, like big musicians, usually do not even have concerts here in South Carolina, in Columbia, South Carolina, which is the main city, you know, the capital city of South Carolina. They literally skip over us. They literally skip over us, you guys, because we don't even have a big enough, like, convention center to hold someone like a Beyonce or a Katy Perry, you know, or Rihanna. We don't have that. We don't have a big enough stadium or convention, unless they like had a concert at Williams Brice Stadium, which is like the football stadium or something. But even that might not be big enough. I don't know. But that's part of why, I guess. I don't know what the other reason might be. Maybe people are discriminating against people here in South Carolina for the same reasons that I mentioned earlier in this video. Perhaps there's bias against us. Maybe they just feel like we're not even worth their time. I don't know. Because maybe they think we're just like hicks or something here. I think people particularly think that people in South Carolina are dumber maybe than other states in the South. I don't know. That's just something I kind of always thought. I don't know, has anyone else ever heard of that? Like, I don't know why that might be, but I mean, you know, maybe it's more now. People might be thinking Alabama is maybe the dumbest state in the South, probably because of the abortion stuff they have going on. So that might be another state in the South that people think that about. But I don't know. I really don't know. That's just a thought that I've had, or a theory. It's just a theory I have that people might think people in South Carolina are dumber than other states in the South. But the point is, I just feel like, you know, because we are in the Bible Belt here in South Carolina, I think a lot of the people here in South Carolina don't realize how under the influence they actually are of that Bible Belt influence, because we're often raised to be so much more religious than in other states. Um, I think because of that, our parents are usually more traditionally minded, and we're raised under that traditional kind of guidance of thinking. Um, so I do feel like there is more like slut shaming in this state than there is in a state like California or New York, or um, I think there's an ant on my foot, or maybe even in North Carolina, maybe even more than in Ohio. I don't know. I just feel like a lot of people here in this state are just much more conventional or conservative, if you will, than in other states. And that's not me at all. And there's nothing wrong with being religious. I myself used to be a Christian, and I I have friends who are Christians, and so I don't have anything against Christians. I'm just saying that uh, a lot of aspects to being a Christian are, having a more conservative opinion about things, like, um, you know, not being like that. This idea that of slut shaming maybe is more pervasive among religious people or people who had religious parents. Things like that is what I'm saying. I mean, it's not even just slut shaming. It's just like, I don't know. How do I explain it? Just like, I think people here are just more conservative. Um, like, if you're weird or really different in this particular state, you're going to get more looks, I think, than you would if you're a goth here in this state, or you're just like a person who wears different clothes than most people. I think you're going to get more looks in this state in South Carolina than you would if you lived in somewhere like LA or California, any city in California, or New York, or even Atlanta, a bigger city basically. This is not a big enough city to where you have enough diverse people. There's not that many weird people here that I've met anyway, that are parading their weirdness around anyway. Um, like, there's just, you don't really see that stuff as much here, and when you do see it, a lot of times I think people here make judgments about it. Just, I think people here are, when I say I think people here are more conservative, I mean that I think people here in South Carolina are much more likely to say that person's a weirdo, that's really weird, that's too weird, than someone who is from, like, New York or Chicago, any big city basically, where you have more diversity and more weird people, more different types of people, where it's not unusual to see that stuff, and where you see lots of different types of people, and it's a much bigger city. It's not a big enough city, I think, that I live in. I think Columbia is just not a big enough city, and that is also why we don't really have a lot of musicians here, like big musicians that come here. I think maybe that's also because, maybe part of why big musicians don't really come here as much is, because of things like having I think the Confederate flag is still up, possibly, at the State House here. I'm not sure. But, I think maybe there's also things like that. Just a bias against us in a way that that maybe they think maybe the big musicians think there are too many races here or too many Hicks here or something. I don't know. Or maybe it's just because it's not a big enough city, and it's literally only because we don't have a big enough convention center for their concerts. I don't know. It's just a theory I have. I'm only making a theory about why bigger musicians do not come here to Columbia, South Carolina. So that's basically what I meant in my last video. I just feel like if I lived in New York or California or a bigger city where there's more diverse people that are into weirder things like me, then I would have more people then I would meet more people that I have things in common with. But I find that a lot of people that I have met throughout my whole life here in Columbia, South Carolina, are just much more conventional. They're much more there's a lot of conformists here, is what I'm saying. There's a lot of conformists here. There's a lot of more, even the people who are not like squares or like, super religious are still usually conformists here. Like there's not, I would probably guarantee you that that pretty much most of the people that I have met in my whole entire life, if I talk to them honestly about the types of things that I'm into, they would probably think I'm a weirdo. Maybe they still want to be friends with me, but they would probably make some judgments about me. And I'm not even that weird, you guys. I'm not like a murderer or anything when I say that I'm into weird things. I'm just like, I'm into punk music, I'm into horror music. Sometimes I wear a Satan dress, but I'm not a Satanist, by the way. I just want to make that clear. I'm not actually a Satanist, but sometimes I like wearing things that are shocking. I don't really want to shock people. I used to want to shock people, but I don't really want to shock people anymore. I just like being who I am, and who I am is kind of a bit controversial. I'm just into things like that. I'm into doing things like that. I'm into I like things like witchcraft sometimes. I don't know, horror movies. These things aren't even really that weird that I'm listing right now, but those are just some of the things that I'm into, and I mean, you'd be surprised at how many sideways looks or judgments I've gotten from family and, people, just because, I don't know, I wore like a Satan dress or whatever. But obviously I think you would probably get looks anywhere, even in California, if you wore a Satan dress. But that's just one example. A better example to explain this is there was a girl at my college who was pretty gothic, and she was wearing like a shirt that had like I think blood and like death on it. It was gore. It was kind of weird looking, and like one of our friends was like, maybe you shouldn't wear that shirt when you go down to the people at our college's housing department to ask for, she needed to get something fixed with her room, I think. And our friend was just saying, maybe you shouldn't wear that shirt when you go to talk to them. And she meant well. Like, I get what she was saying, like, because it's a college, I guess, housing department, maybe you should look more professional for some fucking reason. I don't know why someone would even need to dress more professionally just to go to the housing department. It's not like they're going to a job interview, you know? It's just the housing department. She's literally, I mean, I guess I think my friend had good intentions though. Uh, she was just saying like I think she was just saying that they might judge her for wearing that, and they might not want to help her. And isn't that fucked up to think that people might not want to help you, or as much, or that they might judge you more just because you're wearing a gothic shirt? It's something like that, I think, can only happen in this state, in this city, but also just in this state. And, you know, I don't even think it's just a problem with this state. I think that is probably a problem with all of the South, you know? Just, you will be judged in the South for wearing something. Like, just a simple, weird gothic shirt. It's not even that big of a deal. I don't think it even said, like, fuck on it, or any bad, I don't even think it had a bad word on it or anything. It was just, like, a weird shirt with gore on it. Like, so what? Who cares? But that's not something that actually happens here. The whole so what, who cares thing is only something you really see in New York or California or Chicago, bigger cities. In bigger cities, people see stuff like that and they're literally like, so what, who gives a fuck? But in the South, you will get lots of looks and judgments more, I think, in the South than you would in a non-Southern state. That's just my opinion, though. I don't know if that's a fact. It's just an opinion of mine. Maybe I'm wrong, you guys. I mean, I don't want you guys to come away from this video and just think, oh, people in the South are so much more judgmental just because I said it. I don't know that. It's just a theory of mine and an opinion of mine right now. And I would probably have to go to more states to really be sure if my theory is right. So just know that it's possible that I'm wrong. It's a loud ass plane. It's possible that I am wrong, you guys. It's possible that I am wrong about people in the South being more judgmental than people who do not live in the South. But I do feel that the example of my friend with her shirt is kind of a prime example of what I'm talking about when I say that people here, to me, seem to be more like conformists than in other states, most likely. But that's just my opinion. So I could be wrong about that. I could be wrong about everything I've said in this video. But, well, yeah. Please, yeah. I could be totally wrong about every single thing that I said in this video. It's just an opinion. It's just how I feel. So, with that being said, please subscribe to me if you like this talk that I had, this rant. It wasn't even really a rant. Exactly, it was just like a talk. And, you know, I really want to talk more about conformists. I feel that another reason why I haven't really made very many friends is because, like, even the friends I have made, honestly, I think most of them are much more of a conformist than I would like them to be. I still like them and I still want to be friends with them, but I feel that they are much more judgmental and much more of a conformist to society than I would like them to be. And I think you would be surprised at how many people are actually conformists and they don't even really realize it. You're just kind of, you're still in the matrix, basically, you know? You're just like, you're still judging people over so many petty things, and you're still like following what society wants of you, even though you don't realize it. Because if you care at all about what people think about you, and if you care at all about your reputation, then you are still being a conformist. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's good to be self-aware, you know? And I just think that there's too many people that care too much about what people think. And yes, I know it's hard to not care what people think about you. And yes, even I still care about what people think about me. I can't lie to you about that. I don't want to ever, I'm never going to lie to you guys about anything. It's just, like, even I care what people think about me sometimes, a little bit, but I literally try so hard not to, and I don't want to, and I will just keep doing me anyway. So that's the key thing. Even if you actually do care what people think about you, the important thing is that you don't live your life by it. You don't change your actions up too much to please people. You know, you want to be kind to people, and you don't want to go around and be an asshole and hurt people's feelings, but then you also want to be authentic, you know? So that's what I strive to do, and that's what I think everyone should strive to do. But I haven't met very many people in my life who I feel have really strived to be that way, like how I just described. So yeah, and that is even the case with probably most of my friends that I currently have. So there's that. Um, yeah, that's the end of my video. Please subscribe to me if you like this rant, if you will. I'm gonna make more rants. And thanks for watching. Bye. I love you so much.